Go web! Up and away web! Fly! Pow! Go web! Go! 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 It was working before, I swear to God. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse is directed by Bob Percy-Shetty, Peter Ramsey and Rodney Rothman. And to say this is like, what, the 16th Spider-Man film that we've gotten, it is incredible what they have pulled off. Because there's been a plethora of Spider-Man movies, we think we've seen it all when it comes to the Spider-Man franchise. Think again, not only is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse one of the best Spider-Man movies ever, but it's also probably one of the best films of the year. Honestly, I was expecting this film to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. From start to finish, I was absolutely entranced by this film. It's got such a unique signature style. The animation, oh my God, the animation in this film, it is a game changer. Like, this is going to be a movie that inspires other CGI animated films in the future. It's just so special. It's like a comic book has actually come to life on the screen. I mean, other directors have tried to do the whole comic book editing stuff with like Ang Lee's The Hulk, but Spiderverse is just so much better. It's so more enthralling and immersive. One thing that I love about this film is that it's so accessible to both kids and adults, and that is so difficult to do nowadays. Usually one or the other ends up bored because you're taking a kid to a very silly kids film and a parent will just, nod off. Or adults will be entertained by like some nostalgia for like Christopher Robin, but the kids aren't entertained because kids nowadays have the attention span of a pot noodle. But Spider-Verse, wow, kids and adults were laughing hysterically all the way through this. There's so much great comedy in this, and the action sequences as well. They are just so creative and so beautiful to watch. They got the whole onomatopoeia stuff coming out on the screen, like kapow, boom, splat, and it's so humorous. It just adds to that whole feel of it, feeling like a comic book film, and it just taps into what people love about the superhero genre and comic books in general. It's just wonderful to see how they've translated it from pages to the screen. I should probably talk a little bit about the plot, because this film isn't actually about Peter Parker per se. He's in this, but there are also numerous Spider-Man in this, but I'll get to that. This film is actually centered around the character of Miles Morales, who is a young boy just on the cusp of adolescence, and he's been sent off to this fancy boarding school in New York, and he's still sort of like finding his way there. He's still feeling a bit lost, feeling a bit ostracized, a bit isolated, and yeah, he's going through hormonal changes. He's awkward talking to girls, like this character Gwen Stacy who's there. He's a very relatable character, much like Peter Parker was, but he's a little bit different to Peter Parker in some ways. For one thing, his parents are still alive. He has a dad cop and a mother who's a nurse. But his relationship to his dad, who is a cop, is a little bit strained, so he feels closer to his uncle, who's voiced by Marheshala Ali. Anyway, after his uncle takes him out one night to practice some graffiti artwork, he ends up getting bit by the spider. He gains his powers. They're similar to Peter Parker's, but he has a few new ones in there. Don't want to spoil it for you because they are a little bit different to Peter Parker's. And after Miles gains his powers, he comes across the villain of the film, who is called Kingpin, and he is using this big machine to basically tear down the barriers between dimensions for personal reasons, but yeah, they also have some disastrous side effects for New York. And basically what this does is it causes different dimensions and realities to sort of bleed into each other, and we end up getting a whole feast of different Spider-Men coming into this universe. You've got a version of Peter Parker who's from a different dimension who comes through, and yeah, he's a bit tubby and not as much of a mentor as you think he would be. And then we have like a Spider-Noir character who is voiced by Nicolas Cage, who's kind of a bit like Rorschach meets Sin City. And then there's a Japanese anime version of a Spider-Girl with her beloved robot. And then there's even a Spider-Ham, who is like a Looney Tunes version of Spider-Man. Who comes up with this stuff? This is insane. This should not work as a film, but when they're all together, they're all very well explored as an ensemble, and you get to know them, and the comedy's so good. It's so well written. It's so well paced. And yeah, together, this cast of characters have to figure a way to get them all back to their correct dimensions, essentially. And it is so strange, but so much fun. I love this film. I can't recommend this film enough, guys. You really have to watch it. It's so good. I was a little bit worried about this film because I thought, oh God, it's just gonna be another Spider-Man movie, same story, just shown in animation, and it wasn't. It gave us something new, it felt distinctive, it felt fresh, it felt different, still in tone of the Spider-Man lore, but has its own sense of identity as well. As for negatives of this film, I would say that the villain Kingpin isn't as explored as I would have liked him to. They do brush upon his backstory, and there is an interesting motive as to why he's doing what he's doing, but I don't think we got enough time with him to empathize with him more, and yeah, he could have been an even better villain than what he was. He wasn't bad, it was just I kind of wanted a little bit more. And there's one other thing, but it's a little bit of a spoiler, so I can't go into too much detail about it, but it's to do with the fact that one of the characters that is supposedly from another dimension is already in the story before the science experiment goes wrong and all the dimensions bleed into Miles' dimension. And because this character was in Miles' world interacting with him before this science experiment went wrong, I kind of thought, should this character be here already? Shouldn't they only be here after the science experiment went wrong? I don't know, maybe I missed something, but yeah, I felt like there's a little bit of continuity issue here. If anyone knows which character I'm talking about and can clarify what I've gotten wrong, please let me know, but otherwise I think there's a bit of a continuity error in the narrative. But having said that, guys, I had a blast watching this film. It was so much fun. The animation was lush. The characters were so well explored and I really cared for them. I really enjoyed watching them. The action is just so inventive and different. And there's so many little Spider-Man Easter eggs and surprise cameos that just made my inner fanboy go, eee! All right, so let's ask those 3 questions. Would I watch this again? Absolutely. Loved this film. Would I recommend it for you guys? Oh my god, yes! Everyone should go see this film. It is such a good ride. Kids are gonna love it, parents are gonna love it. It's so different to what you see when it comes to animated films in the cinema. It's got such a unique style and aesthetic. So yeah, go watch it, guys. I insist you go watch this film. And what score am I gonna give it out of 10? There's just a couple minor issues with it, like I wish the villain was a little bit more developed, and there's one little bit of continuity in it which I don't understand why a character's in the start of this film. So for that, I'm gonna bring it down just slightly, but I'm gonna still give it an amazing score of 9 out of 10. There you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you guys seen this film? Of course you have, but I want to know, what did you guys think of it? My quick question for you guys today is, what film do you want to see win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars next year? Are you a fan of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Do you want Ralph Breaks the Internet? Maybe Incredibles 2? Which one do you want to see win? Not who you think will win, who you want to see win. Whatever you think, let me know in that comment section below. If you guys do like this content, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. And of course, guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, all the information is in that description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.